Running a small biz takes grit and hustle, but
Alrighty, guys. Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos, and we are broadcasting to the world live from Phoenix, Arizona. We are diving into the Abby and Libby case. We are 7 days out from the trial. Jury selection should begin most likely the 15th. Not quite sure. They're going to be in session on the 14th. I think that's a holiday, right? Some interesting developments today. Not quite sure what to make of them. Let's take a look here. Okay, so first we'll start everything on the 10th. Motion filed, motion for order on designated defense representatives. I think I have that document here. I think Frank Meister just sent it over. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. So we'll start there. Motion for order on designated defense representatives. What's up, Farmer? Jill Moser, Christine Robbins. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Oh, yeah, that happens. True Crime Housewife. Hey, Karen G. Safe travels. No texting and driving now. Ziggy, how are you? Good evening. Shane, how are you? Amelia, what up, Big Fish? No worries, Farmer. Thank you, though. Tambi. Kitty Cat. And Sensei. Johnny Cash. Purple Amaryllis. Okay, so this was the first thing that was posted up today. Motion for order on designated defense representatives comes now the defendant Richard Allen by counsel Bradley Rosie. Pursuant to Rule 16 of Indiana Rules of Evidence, and respectfully request that this court issue an order authorizing the defense team to designate a supporting staff member to remain in the courtroom to assist the defense team in representing Richard Allen's defense during the jury trial in this case. In support of said request, defendant Allen states as follows. It is well known and has been previously articulated in prior filings with this court that the volume of discovery in this case is unprecedented. By conservative estimations, the raw amount of data that has been provided by the state to the defense through dozens of discovery dumps exceed 20 terabytes, which really isn't that much. I have 1 terabyte on my computer and it's completely filled up with true crime stuff. In addition, the defense has generated its own discovery as a result of its own investigation, which have been ongoing for nearly 2 years since defendant Allen's arrest in October of 2022. Number 2, there also exist volumes of deposition transcripts, pre-trial hearings, transcripts, various other transcripts that have been created as a result of defendant Allen's lengthy detention in the Indiana Department of Corrections. So Max Baker. So it looks like Max Baker's been helping them out. Give you the short story, the short version. They want to bring this guy Max Baker in here. For nearly 2 years, Max Baker has assisted with the review and prioritizing of discovery. So I'm not quite sure who Max Baker is. Do you guys know who that character is? Let's take a look. Let's see here. Max Baker, an intern on the case, testified Thursday that he had met Allen 4 times. I wonder if this is the guy that wrote the Franks memo. Is that who this is? Do you guys know? Let's see. Here's an article talking about Max Baker. But I think he might be can you guys see that? Oops. Zoom in here. So Max Baker, an intern on the case, testified Thursday that he had met Allen 4 times in meetings at the correctional facility. In those meetings, Allen was increasingly anxious and had difficulty maintaining a rational exchange, often repeating himself in their conversations, though he met Allen once in December of 2022 and 3 times last month. And it looks like this was put out June 15th of 2023. Though he met Allen once in December of 2022, 3 times last month, Baker said that he had to reintroduce himself to Allen every time. Who are you? It's me. It's Max. Rick, it's me. You don't remember me? No. Where am I? Who am I? Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McClellan doubted whether changing facilities would benefit Allen, questioning whether it would be any different, as officials testified such steps could still be taken to ensure Allen's security. So he's basically an intern, and they're going to bring him in officially to assist. So he must be helping them out quite a bit in organizing all of the discovery. So that's the first thing I saw here on the docket. What's up, Phil? BD, what's up? Ziggy, how are you? How you doing, Jill? Actually don't know if he wrote the Franks. If it is him, he should go back to high school. Plenty of spelling mistakes. Well, shit, I'm not one to talk. That's not my forte. Hey, Beth. All right. So we'll continue on. So that was the first thing filed today. They want to bring in this Max guy officially. Can you guys see that at all? I have it zoomed in to 150%, but I think I need to go a little bit higher. Is that better? Close that. Okay, so that was the motion for order on designated defense representatives, bringing in this Max character. But also, there was a transport order entered. Looks like this was done by Gull. And then you had Richard Allen making a request to transport, looks like 4 different inmates. You have one here, here, and there. Total of 4. So who are they requesting? Let's take a look-see. We'll start here with the first one. Inmate number 250845. Who could it be? All right, so we'll come here to the incarcerated search, where you can actually enter in the doc numbers. Put that number in there. James L. Haas. You guys might be familiar with that name. Thank you, Sensei. Keep up the good work, Sleuth, keeping us updated. You got it. Appreciate that, Sensei. What's up, Patty? So James Haas, first time I heard that name was through a discussion with Barbara McDonald. Now, you guys might not agree with everything that she's done, but she is an exceptional journalist, reporter. She's done excellent work on the Delphi case. And before the arrest of Richard Allen, she was chasing a story about Ron Logan. She was convinced, I think she may have even written a book or was writing a book. I'm not quite sure. But she was convinced that Ron Logan was the killer. And she had done a lot of investigative work, and some of that work included some very interesting statements by James Haas, who claims, and hopefully I'm not wrong about this, but I think that's who this James character is. He's a convicted murderer who spoke with Barb McDonald and told her that he was locked up with Ron Logan. And I guess in the middle of the night, he told her that Ron would be masturbating and talking about the murders of Abby and Libby. Kind of getting off on it. So some really sick shit. So let's take a closer look at who this character is. I think I might have some articles that I saved from him. Let's see. Here's one article. Here, I'll just read them both. We'll start with this one. This guy looks like a fucking weirdo. Look at this dude. Who dare? This one's titled Carroll County Murder Suspects Trial Date Bounces Around, New Charge Filed. This was put out October 10th, 2017 by Ron Wilkins. Shout out to Ron. Oh, you hit a hole in one today. Shit. I've gotten close. I've gotten close on a few par threes. That's amazing. Congratulations. Shane, Sleuth, you seem to be very smug here. Something big coming with receipts? Smug? Well, I mean, I've only been live for 13 minutes. I have yet to defile myself. Hold on, just looking at an email. What am I looking at here? Oh, yeah, that's definitely him. That's definitely a photo of him. Thanks for sending that to me. Yeah, I don't mean to be smug. I've had my coffee, I took a nap, and I worked out twice today. Maybe that has something to do with it. So no smugness on this end, on my end. Maybe I'm just always smug. I don't know. Thank you, guys. Hit that thumbs up. Go share the video on your X page, on your Facebook, on your YouTube channels. Let's get some more folks up in here. Kitty Cat, Barb M just text that Haas did that. What do you mean she just text? Did she comment on that? I would like, maybe I can read that. And I hope I'm getting my facts straight. But when I heard the name, that's what popped in my head. I remember thinking, hearing about that story and her work with this gentleman. Stephanie says, I bet he's lying. Maybe. I mean, he looks like a creep. Good to see you, Stephanie. Mustang. Oh, tweet it. Let's go take a look. Because, I mean, you got to give Barb some credit. If you can get an inmate just kind of talking about that kind of stuff, still very interesting. Okay, here's Barb. I follow her, so it's right here. It popped right up. Let's see. Keegan Kline told me he created the catfish account, Anthony Shots, and that he believed ISP wanted him to say a relative killed the girls. Okay, so she's adding more details. Oh, and I forgot she did a lot of work on Keegan Kline as well. Here's some transcripts. Motion for transport. Okay, let me zoom in on this. Better yet, I'm just going to save it. Give me a moment. Title that Barb 1. This will be Barb 2. Thanks, Barb, for posting these, by the way. This definitely helps. Bear with me, guys. I'm pulling something off of Barbara McDonald's Twitter here. She has the official court documents here for the motion for transport on these inmates. Okay. And then also, let me read what she had to say about this gentleman. She says here, Haas told me and others he shared a cell with Ron Logan after the murders and that Logan called out one of the victims' names while he was performing a sex act. Yeah, so I am right. I knew it was something like that. Okay. So if you guys want to go check these out yourselves or go collect them on your own, Barbara McDonald has them posted on her Twitter feed. All right. Motion for transport of IDOC inmate comes now the defendant Richard M. Allen by counsel of Bradley A. Rosie and respectfully request that the court issue an order directing the Carroll County Sheriff to transport inmate Ricky Davis Jr. Jury trial in this case is set to commence on October 14th. So I guess they are starting their jury selection on the 14th. I keep hearing that's a holiday, so I don't know what's going on with that. However, due to the volume of witnesses and due to the fact that the defense will not be able to present its evidence until the state has completed presenting its own evidence, it is somewhat unpredictable as to when inmate Davis Jr. will be needed in the courtroom. Okay, let's see. And then we also have... Okay, this is all just a lot of copy and paste. Then we have James Haas. We're going to read an article about him. Brian Chadwell. You guys are all very familiar with him. And the fat fuck himself, Keegan Kline. So there's that. So it looks like what they want is they want a new third-party suspect. So, and remember, they can go after these folks if they can create a nexus, right? That's all they need. So they're going to be allowed to interview them. They're going to be allowed to dispose them or whatever, however you want to say it. That goes for any of the other third-party suspects. So as long as they can create a nexus or create new discovery or new information, they're going to be able to present it and attempt to get it pushed through. Because you guys probably remember this, right? Defendant's supplemental submission regarding state's motion in limine. On April 29th, 2024, the state of Indiana filed a motion in Lemonade seeking to limit various forms of evidence in the cause. Specifically, paragraph 7 of said motion sought limitations on a defendant's ability to introduce evidence of third-party culpability regarding the following individuals. So they failed to create anything on Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Johnny Messer, Elvis Fields, Ned Smith, and Rod Abrams. These guys are all kind of grouped together in the Odinism stuff. So they failed to create a nexus. Now they're moving on to Keegan Kline, Jerry Kline, and Ron Logan. Haas is going to be used to create a nexus for Ron Logan. I think Keegan Kline might be used possibly maybe as a witness to create a nexus for Jerry Kline, who is his father. And I'm not quite sure what's going on with Chadwell. I know Chadwell may have some connections to Keegan Kline. They used to live by each other in Peru, and there's some proof of that because it's documented that James Brian Chadwell was arrested just right up the street from Keegan Kline's home doing a beer run. You guys can go look that up if you want. I'm sure I have the article somewhere, but so I believe that's what's going on. They're looking for new third-party suspects, and I'll do my best to give you the information I have on some of these cats, some of these characters. Ooh. Okay, let's go back to this. So let me catch up on the chat before we start blabbing away on this. They say anything to get a reduced sentence. Oh, yeah. A lot of murderers do. We've covered a lot of cases in True Crime in the Morning. Mostly we cover these forgotten cases in. I always find articles from inmates who are like, oh, I have information on the cold case. And they're always trying to get transferred. It's always part of their motivation. And that's the problem with these types of witnesses. You know, they're just not credible. I mean, think about it. Keegan Kline confessed. He said, me and my dad had something to do with the Delphi murders. And they're like, oh, okay. Sure you do, buddy. Hey, Hiawatha, what is up? Oh, that's disgusting. And remember, there's always that human element. Like, we don't know anything about Ron Logan. We don't know if he was a good guy. He could do something sick like that and still have nothing to do with it, right? I can't explain why people do a lot of weird shit. It could be a lie from this guy. It could be Ron Logan actually doing something disgusting like that for whatever reason, trying to convince this guy. You know, people are just really strange. That's why everything has to be based with facts, some kind of evidence. Whether it's likely or unlikely, that's beside the point. Shane says, I watched a video from another creator today from over a year ago. It was Kathy's Facebook post by God that told a tale. Rick was rattled in 2017, physically. 2018. He seemed a little bit better in 2018. He was having a rough time at the end of 2016, that's for sure. Which kinds of fits the profile? Oh, we got a flex by the Frankmeister. Says justice for Abby and Libby. That's a nice flex right there. Say it with your chest. Chadwell doing a beer run with the 14-year-old girl and all kinds of weird stuff in his car. Well, he wasn't in a car with the beer run I was referring to. There was actually a cop was sitting at a stoplight, and he heard the report come over to his radio, and then like 5 seconds later, here comes Chadwell running with an 18 pack in his hands, right in front of him. What's up, cheeks? It sounds like you're getting possibly maybe mixed up with, and I don't know, maybe you're right about another incident, but that sounds a lot like what happened to Gabe Ellis. He got pulled. He was wanted, and when they finally found him, he had a 16-year-old girl in his car, and they had sex, had filmed themselves having sex on his phone. A lot of people suspected that sick guy as well. Part of the old Kokomo crew. Was in and around Delphi at the time of the murders. Hey, She Warrior, Ziggy, good to see you guys. None of your business. Trying to get a transfer because they have bad paperwork and can't be on the yard. But yeah, they're definitely motivated. True crime. Fangirl, what's up? Catching up? I'd like to see those posts for sure. I've never seen anything they posted back then. Yeah, he tried to kill the 9-year-old girl. He kidnapped her and chained her into a bed or chained her up in his basement and apparently had strangled her. So, I mean, law enforcement literally saved this young girl's life. He would have killed her for sure. That makes you wonder, right? And there's a lot of information pointing that Chadwell was actually in Delphi that day. And a lot of his Facebook posts, I think his Facebook might still be open. Maybe we'll check on that later. Remind me. Okay, let's get into this article here. So James Haas, this is the guy that told Barb McDonald that he was locked up with Ron Logan, and Ron Logan was masturbating on the floor and saying the names of Abby and Libby, and I guess talking about the crime scene and all of that, which is awful. Hey, Metal Mama Michelle coming through. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sensei, Frank Meister, and Metal Mama. All right, let's get into this. 59-year-old James Haas. Murder trial date bounced from January 29th to October 2nd to October 16th, and now back to January 29th. The shifting dates all happened during the 7 weeks since prosecutors charged Haas with killing 62-year-old Richard Houchen on August 10th inside Houchen's Deer Creek home in northeastern Carroll County. Haas filed for a speedy trial on August 17th, 3 days after he was charged with the murder. As it implies, a defendant's speedy trial request puts everything on a fast track, requiring a trial within 6 months. Haas briefly had a relationship with Houchen's ex-wife, who left Haas in June to reconcile with Houchen. According to the probable cause affidavit for the charge of murder, prosecutors suspect this is why Haas killed Houchen, according to the affidavit. On September 12th, prosecutors requested a continuance from the October 2nd trial date, which was granted, but because of the speedy trial request, it only bought the state an extra 14 days. Then prosecutors charged Haas on September 14th with robbery, resulting in serious bodily injury. This charge came about because a woman told police she had given Haas a ride to Deer Creek on August 10th after Haas allegedly killed Houchen, according to a probable cause affidavit for the new charge. During that ride, Haas admitted he killed Houchen and stole his property, which Haas disposed of at the Wabash River. Good old Wabash River, huh? According to the affidavit. Police found Houchen's belongings where Haas said he ditched them. According to a probable cause affidavit, police received this woman's information on August 17th, 3 days after Haas was charged with murder, according to the affidavit. October 2nd, Haas filed a request to delay on October 16th trial, and it was moved to January 29, 2018, the original date set at Haas's initial hearing. So that's who this Haas guy is. I think I have another one here. It's not very long, but let's take a look. I think there's more details in this article. Carroll County 911 dispatch received a report from Tracy Houch on August 10th at 10:48 a.m. saying she returned home to find her boyfriend unresponsive. Investigators found the victim Richard M. Houchin, 62, of Deer Creek, and he appeared to be deceased. Tracy was a former wife and the current live-in girlfriend of the victim. Preliminary suspicions centered on the condition of the home's interior when investigators arrived. Items in the home were found in disarray. An autopsy was scheduled for August 11th. According to the probable cause affidavit filed in Carroll Circuit Court by County Detective Tony Leggett, that name sounds familiar, it was determined at the scene the cause of death was most likely due to 2 bullet wounds to the head, which appeared to be from a small caliber firearm. Houchin told investigators she suspected James Haas, her former boyfriend, of hurting her former husband. It was stated in the probable cause affidavit, Haas made many attempts to contact Tracy Houchin, which she rejected. She said she and her former husband planned to remarry in September. James Haas's brother, Perry, told a White County investigator that his brother James indicated he wanted to hurt Houchin and described a scenario in which that would happen. Perry Haas said when he heard a man was found dead in Deer Creek, he called the White County investigators about the matter. The County Sheriff's Department and Indiana State Police arrested James. They give the address here, Burnetttsville, Adams Township, August 11th in the afternoon. Investigators are awaiting the final autopsy. According to the press release from County Sheriff Tobe Lesenby, no additional information is being released related to the victim's injuries until police receive the final autopsy information. So that's who that guy is. So it's obvious that they want to interview him or talk with him to create a third-party nexus to Ron Logan, or at least attempt. Jimmy Duval? No, that's not Jimmy Duval. Jimmy Duval is the father of Tara German's wife. And early in 2009, I believe, he was convicted of sexual assault and rape of a 9-year-old girl, 9 or an 11-year-old girl, where he actually held a knife to her throat and cut her a little bit. He's since, I think he spent like 15 years in prison or something. And he was a suspect in the Delphi murders. And he looks just like Richard Allen, too. So, makes you wonder. Exactly, none of your business. It says, the incredible number of weirdos in just this small area connected to this investigation. Why I keep a close eye on. Yes. Watch your daughters. Watch your back. Watch your daughters. Watch your wives. Watch your neighbors. This isn't anything special for Indiana, right? The only reason we're able to see all these creeps is because we have Carroll County under a microscope. I guarantee if we put your neighborhood in your area under a microscope, it'll be the same thing. You're going to see drugs. You're going to see assaults. You're going to see CSAM. You're going to see murder. So stay on your toes. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate that. Says great work, Sleuth. Food for thought again. Yep. Said, well, that's not him, but yeah, it looks like him. If I had to pick, that's the closest match. She was provided a lineup, not an official lineup. So this is Doug Rice's lineup. Doug has since passed away. God rest his soul. He did great work on the case, and I'll show you the lineup here. This is the lineup, something similar to this, but this is how he explained it. You got Brian Chadwell. You got Paul Etter. I can't remember this guy's name. I think Eldridge, something Eldridge. This is Thomas Jerome Bruce, Daniel Nations, Garrett Kurtz, and Jimmy Duval. So she circled Jimmy Duval and said, it's not him, but man, that's the closest one. And then I went ahead and put a side-by-side of Richard Allen in 2018 next to Jimmy Duval, and they look like they could be brothers. Any hooser. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Pengarth, what's up? Did you hear about Todd Click, a former state worker who was a witness to a murder in Delphi Township, is facing charges of his own? He's supposed to be a witness in the Delphi case, apparently. Yep, we've covered that extensively. We even showed the probable cause affidavit. If you want to look at it, I posted it on my Twitter account. No, that was a different search, Mustang. That was way back in 2017. But he ain't BG. He's 6'3". Ron Logan is like 6 foot. He's not that tall. He looks tall, but he's only about 6 foot. Yeah, Mustang, they look a lot alike. Yonder, do the witnesses get cross-examined in court so long ago? How could they be expected to remember, or do they just refer to their original statements? I think both. Yeah, he's connected to the family. He is connected to the family. Remember, a witness said the killer looked like Jimmy Duval. Lo and behold, look at Jimmy and Richard Allen. Yep, they look like brothers. They look like they could be related. Thanks again, Shane. Oh, yeah. I have one that lives on the corner. Beth says, good to see you, Beth. So the defense is just fishing for a third-party defense. If they really thought these people were involved, why'd they wait this late to do this? I'm not quite sure. And I don't know if that's what they're doing. That's just, I'm just guessing. But I don't know if Richard Allen is connected to Abby and Libby's family. If he is, I would think more so towards Anna. Yeah, I agree with you. A little one says Jimmy Duval's mugshot was 20 years old. He's dried up. An old man, looks nothing like Richard Allen. That's not true because I also have photos of him from a Facebook. And he looks more like him now than he did then. With these sunken eyes. What's up, MF Witchy Widow? Okay, guys, let's see who else they have listed here. Okay. So that was the first one. Who was that? James Haas? Is that the first one? Let's go here to motion for transport order. Inmate number 294614. We'll plop that in there. And that's for Keegan Kline. His charge is CSAM. He was sentenced on the 23rd. That boy ain't getting out till 2039. Look at all these charges. What a sick motherfucker. Oh, shit. Release? No, it says 2048. My bad. Okay, you guys all know who Keegan Kline is. That's why we threw him up here on the front. All right, let's see who else we got. Let's go to inmate number 3. So we had Haas, Kline, and now we're going to see who this is. James Brian Chadwell. And I actually have a video queued up. Look at his charges. He was charged in 2021. Attempted murder. Attempted child molest. Child molest. Yeah, this dude is a sick bastard. Oh, well, oh, there it is. I was like, what the hell? Okay, let me know if you guys have any trouble hearing this.
The man who abducted, beat, and molested a 9-year-old girl in his Lafayette home faced a judge today and admitted to all of it. James Chadwell II is now going to prison for the rest of his life. Today at 5, Emily Longnecker watched it all happen from inside the courtroom and says the guilty plea saves jurors from a horrific trial.
Tippecanoe County prosecutor Pat Harrington says he is relieved that this case didn't go to trial because the police body camera footage that a jury would have seen is some of the most shocking he has ever seen. So bad, Harrington says, that many who have viewed it have had to have counseling. Handcuffed and dressed in a prison jumpsuit, 42-year-old James Chadwell II told a Tippecanoe County judge he was guilty of trying to murder a 9-year-old girl, first luring her to this home with the promise of petting his dog. In front of the little girl's family who was in the courtroom, Chadwell also admitted to beating the child, strangling her to the point of passing out, and then sexually molesting her in his basement.
This case reminds me a lot of Evansdale. You know, I think something like this might have happened in Evansdale, where the girls were lured away maybe to somebody who lives right there by that park.
It's disturbing that a human being could ever treat another person in this manner.
Chadwell told the judge he suffers from schizophrenia and post-traumatic stress disorder and had been drinking April 19th when he attacked the little girl who lived nearby. Police later found her in Chadwell's basement on a second visit to his home that same day after the girl's mom reported her missing. On their first visit, Chadwell told police the girl had been there but had left. Officers doubled back when neighbors said the last time they'd seen the 9-year-old was with Chadwell.
You heard him admit that his intent was to kill her. Had they not gone back, the results may have not been as they were today.
The case received wide media attention after Carroll County Sheriff Tobe Lesenby said they were investigating if Chadwell could be connected to the murders in Delphi of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. But Chadwell was never named a suspect in the case. Friday, his defense attorney spoke to that issue.
There's nothing to suggest that I've seen or that I've been told that he was part of that, so I don't believe he had anything to do with the murders of Abigail and Liberty.
Prosecutor Harrington said he hadn't discussed the possibility of a connection between Chadwell and the Delphi murders with anyone.
They keep that investigation very close to themselves, and they should.
Harrington remained focused on his case, saying the only closure for the victim was that the criminal case was over.
Every day is a day where they are trying to recover from their grieving process.
Chadwell's sentencing is set for December 16th. He could face up to 160 years.
Damn. If they wouldn't have came back when they did, he would have killed that little girl. They saved her life. You know, nobody wants to give good cops any credit, but they save lives all the time. Every day they're saving lives. So that was number 3. Question is, who is inmate number 4? I don't know if I've seen this guy before or not. Ricky D. Davis Jr. Possession of meth, forgery, theft, receiving stolen property, conspiracy, forgery, counterfeiting. Receiving stolen property, controlled substance, burglary, theft. This dude's a career criminal. Hold on, I need to put my glasses on here. Computer screens are burning my eyeballs, burning my retinas. Auto theft. Dealing meth. Jeez. Okay, but I do have his probable cause affidavit, and I'll have that for you guys here in just a second. I'm going to run and grab some more water. I can feel my throat getting a little dry, and this is a few pages long, so just bear with me. I'll be right back. Give me like a minute. Alrighty, thanks, guys. Thanks for holding down the fort. All right, let's see who this guy is. Does anybody know who this Ricky Davis is and how he's connected to the Delphi case? He's been locked up for some time, so let's pull that back up first. Date of sentence 2002. So he must be very similar to the Haas situation where he was locked up with somebody, maybe Chadwell, maybe Keegan Kline, maybe Ron Logan, maybe he was locked up with somebody. This was 2010, that confessed, to taking part in the Delphi murders. Newcastle Correctional Facility. Does anybody know where that's at? Newcastle, Indiana. Not familiar with Newcastle. Oh, it's near Indianapolis. Is there anybody that we know that was locked up there? Let's see here. Delphi murder suspect to be transferred out of Indiana. Newcastle Correctional Facility. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here. Maybe somebody in the chat can fill us in on that part. But I did get my hands on the probable cause affidavit. Looks like it was filed on 2019. Ricky Davis. This was an appeal. Ricky Davis appeals the denial of his petition for post-conviction relief. The relevant facts as discussed in Davis's direct appeal follow. Shortly before 11 p.m., May 19th, 2014, a man called the Huntington County Sheriff's Department on its non-emergency line and reported that he had a warrant and was strung out on meth and to come get him and take it all out of his house. In response to the call, the Sheriff's Department dispatched the Huntington Police Department to 533 East Franklin Street, Huntington, Indiana, upon verification that the occupant thereof, Davis, had an active warrant. We'll take a quick, we're going to pause right there. Kitty Cat says Barb M tweeted she doesn't know how Davis is connected. She's looking into it. Okay, thank you. You guys, if you're gathering this information as we go along, please do what Kitty Cat's doing. We're just trying to stay informed. So, anytime you learn any new details or if you need to correct me, go right ahead and do it. Yeah, that's what I'm reading here. Like those cops who ate the pot brownies and started freaking out. I'm dying here, man. How embarrassing. It's kind of like when I was on my honeymoon with my wife. She doesn't smoke or drink, or she doesn't do anything. She might, if I beg her, she might have a glass of wine, but she doesn't mess with anything. And she agreed to take an edible. And they were really strong. I mean, they were strong for me. And she was just kind of like freaking out. So we had to go home early. Let me check. I'm getting emails as we go along. Let me see what's going on here. Thank you guys for sending the emails and stuff. Is that him? He looks young. Yeah, apparently this guy's in prison and has been in prison for some time. How old is Ricky? Let's take a look. He's not that old. He was born on 1979. So 45 years old. I don't do math as well. I can't math. I don't math good. Newcastle, an hour east of Indy, and that's where Kline is imprisoned as well. Oh, okay. Thank you, Hiawatha. So Kline is in Newcastle. So maybe he confessed to this Ricky guy. Hey, vid inquiries. No, I wish. I wish I had the money to go out there. Cost me probably like $2,000 to get out there. Okay, let's go back. Continue reading this. 15 minutes after the police had first knocked on the door, Davis came downstairs along with Thomas Hale and Amanda Casto. The officers escorted him outside, placed him in handcuffs, and administered his Miranda warnings. Davis indicated that he and Hale had been manufacturing meth on the second floor of his house. Davis further stated that when they heard of the officers knocking on the door, Hale began hiding the supplies. Thus, Davis offered to accompany the officers inside to show them where everything was. For safety reasons, the officers would not allow Davis back into the house, but upon questioning as to whether there was an active lab that could pose any danger to the officers, Davis assured them that everything was safe. As officers climbed the staircase, they detected the very distinct, overwhelming chemical odor associated with manufacturing methamphetamine. The odor was most potent in the upstairs bathroom, emanating from the toilet and the sink in particular. Once they confirmed that there was nobody else in the house, the officers went back outside to retrieve their protective gear. After obtaining consent to search the home from the landlord, several officers trained in dismantling methamphetamine labs entered the house to process the scene. No active methamphetamine lab was discovered, nor did the police officers recover any finished product. However, spread throughout nearly every room of the house, the officers found evidence of all of the ingredients and other equipment necessary to manufacture, including numerous empty boxes of blister packs that had contained pseudoephedrine, empty boxes, and the water bladders from cold compresses and the ammonium nitrate that had been extracted therefrom. Lithium batteries and empty battery packages, salt, several bottles of drain cleaner. You guys get the point. I'm not going to give a course on how to make meth. We'll skip that part. Okay. So that's who that is. And I want to go back to Keegan Kline real quick. I want to pull up his record. Okay. His number was 294-614. So I want to see if he is at that Newcastle. 294-614. Good memory. Yeah, Newcastle Correctional Annex. Good work, Hiawatha. So yeah, maybe he's going to help create this nexus to Keegan Kline, but the only problem is that according to wife Lilith, who actually knows Keegan Kline and may have something to do with getting him to talk and having them search the Wabash River. According to her, he knows Richard Allen. So I feel like an effort to pursue Keegan Kline might be an effort to pursue their own client, possibly. Careful what you wish for, right? Oh, hell yeah. Thanks, Shane. You better take us all. Get a private jet. Hey, Jacqueline. All right. So that is the group of knuckleheads that the defense is hoping to speak with. And it's just a motion for transport. I don't know if it's going to be approved, but it started here with transport order entered. And that was looks like put out by Judge Gohl. Followed by 4 motion for transport orders with those inmates. James Haas, the guy who told Barbara McDonald that Ron Logan confessed to him while doing some sick shit. It includes Keegan Kline, who has confessed that him and his father took part in this. James Chadwell, who was among social media's top, suspects, persons of interest. And I believe was even in Delphi. Or he made a Facebook post and it was dated the 13th, like at 10 a.m. And it was in Delphi. So yeah, all of it sees through. Good to see you. Would be hearsay. Johnny Blaze says KK is being held at the Wabash Correctional Facility. That's not what it says here. Or I'll put it back on the screen. I could be wrong. I'm just reading what it says here. And this is directly from the Indiana Department of Corrections. Facility location, Newcastle Correctional Annex. I remember he was transferred to the Wabash facility. Well, I thought they moved him because Richard Allen was transferred to the Wabash facility. Or do I have that backwards? I know that Keegan Kline was upset because they were sending Richard Allen to the location that he was currently at the time. And I don't know why that affected him. If he has nothing to do with the Delphi murders, why would Richard Allen have any effect on what they do with Keegan Kline? But I know that they transferred Richard Allen and that therefore they had to transfer Keegan Kline out of that facility. I don't know what one has to do with the other. But yeah, Johnny Blaze, it says right here, Newcastle Correctional Annex. Keegan Anthony Kline, and there's his DOC number, 294614. It's all his charges. And it states right here, Newcastle Correctional. Maybe it's not updated. I don't know. MF Witchy Widow, is there going to be a trial? I think there's going to be a week or two of trial, but I think Richard Allen is going to confess. He's going to, I don't know if he'll confess, but he'll plead guilty. I think they want to see what's going to happen with the opening statements and get a feel for the jury. Yeah, and I don't know if this is updated. I don't know if they keep it updated. I'm assuming they do. But I do find it interesting that it does state here, like Hiawatha said, Newcastle, and they're bringing in this guy, Ricky D. Davis Jr., who was also locked up in this facility. And I've never heard that name before. I don't know if you guys have or not, but I feel like they're trying to do with Ricky what they're doing with this Haas guy. They're trying to create a nexus to Ron Logan through Haas. Maybe they're doing the same thing with Ricky Davis Jr., trying to help create a nexus to Keegan Kline. All I know is that you can't have Ron Logan confessing and that be true, and also Keegan Kline confessing and that be true, unless they were both there. Yeah, I don't think he cared, but why would the facility care? Like the moment that the transport order went through for Richard Allen, the transport order went through for Keegan Kline to move him out. And he was happy to be there. He was happy to be in that facility. He was comfortable. He was settling in, and then boom. Hiawatha says that eye doc moving around tells us that the two have something to do with each other, KK and RA. I think you might be right. So I don't understand why Richard Allen's defense team would be wanting to contact Keegan Kline if Keegan Kline is telling people that he knows Richard Allen and that him and his father are the ones that killed the girls. Unless it was Keegan Kline, his father, Richard Allen, with the help of Ron Logan. What if it was that group right there? That would be crazy. Doubtful. Very interesting. What's up, Cryptex? So do you guys have anything to add? That's pretty much all I had for you. Vended queries. I don't know if you remember, but I had always felt there were at least 3 or 4 people involved, maybe 5. I have never felt that Ron Logan was involved, only that it was on his property. Vid says, in my opinion, Ron Logan was used so that he would look like he did it because of his likeness for kids, etc. I mean, you can't tell me, So you're trying to tell me that Ron Logan, Keegan Kline, Elvis Fields, he also admitted, he confess? So all of these guys were down there, somebody's lying. And this is why I try to drive home the whole human element, that variable that comes along with it. The things that motivate individuals, people are just very strange. Yeah, Stephanie. I mean, statistically, the Delphi murders is it's already an anomaly. Just the fact that there's 2 victims in the middle of the day like that. But just because it's not statistically likely doesn't mean it's not like a one-off, Sees through. Defense would never bring these guys in if they led to Rick. I think they are going to be used as reasonable doubt as they are, if they are allowed at all. Yeah, all these motions could just be denied. Like, nope. But they have to be able to interview these folks. And if they could provide a nexus or prove there's a nexus, definitely should be allowed. And if it falls into the guidelines, Goal has to allow it. It's not like she didn't want to allow the Odinism stuff in there. It's just that the defense failed to create a nexus. You can't bring in speculation and waste the court's time and distract them from the facts. So once they find that nexus, that'll change the game. You guys got anything else? Very curious to see what you guys have to say about all this. Thank you, Stephanie. All right, guys, I guess this will be just a short one. If you're part of the replay crew, you have anything to add, any information, or you need to correct any of the information that was presented, please do so in the comments. And we're going live again in about an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. So we do have another live stream lined up, not relating to Delphi. It's just going to be on all of the disturbing 911 calls and cases relating to those calls that we've collected over the past 3 years on the channel. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. Thank you, Mustang. Johnny says, what's weird to me is that they are holding him in prison and not jail. Not anymore. I think he's in jail now, isn't he? Nakia Schultz, greatly enjoy your content, Sleuth. You're doing a great job. Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks for saying that. Hi, Watha. I'm just saying that IDOC move between Kline and Allen is very suspicious. What does one have to do with the other? Exactly. Exactly. I don't think that we've heard the end of Pudgy here. Vid says, let justice for Libby and Abby begin. We're 7 days out, guys. 7 days out. And that's not even including the jury selection. It looks like it's going to go forward on the 14th. All right. So if you guys want to hang out in about an hour and 15 minutes, we'll just be talking about a plethora of true crime cases. The live stream is already scheduled, so if you want to go hit the bell icon, should be right on time. Thank you, Hiawatha. Red Queen, good to see you. BD, you're welcome. Adam and E-Proton. Who, this guy on the screen? Keegan Kline? Thank you, Kitty Cat. All right, guys, if you need to get a hold of me for whatever reason, shoot me an email, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. And special thanks to Sensei, Frank Meister, Metal Mama Michelle, Shane Considine, and all of you who continue to donate to the Cash App. I really appreciate it. You guys make this possible. And an extra special thanks to all of my members. And hopefully I'll see you guys a little bit later. What's up, Boston? Thank you, Julianne. Yeah, we'll get together here in about an hour and 15 minutes. We're going live again, Boston. So I'll see you guys again soon. Take care of yourselves. And please, if you have any information or anything to add to today's live stream, please leave a comment or shoot me an email. We'll make sure we keep this updated, and we'll continue this countdown. So you guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you in a bit. Peace.